Oftentimes, your best isn't your best because your effort and your energy is going to something that you're not designing or understanding. See, here's the thing about understanding what your part is to play and what your role is. You have to know who you are. You have to identify who you are as a person. See, oftentimes we get so stuck in the process and stretching ourselves too thin because we're trying to work on and control everything that's around us. But what's happening is that we are stretching ourselves too thin, which means we are not in our purpose, which means we're not doing our part, which means that when things go wrong, that's when we try to put all the pieces to the puzzle and try to make it work out. But how can we work out? How can we understand how things work if we're not working on ourselves? So here's the thing about life and how it's so functioning. We have to take the time and effort to put into ourselves to discover what is our part. What part do we need to play in order for us to be successful? Not only successful, but to be at peace. Okay, but see, peace is only created when you take the time to learn yourself. People don't tell you that in order to invest in other people, you have to invest in yourself first. Why? It's so important because how do you go from wanting to help somebody if the person that you need to start with hasn't been helped? Here's for the next 25 minutes. I'm going to be talking about why doing your part is so important. Why it's so important. Why everyone needs to focus on themselves in order to bring more value to the world, to the universe, to the marketplace. So before I dive in a little bit deeper, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, if you haven't hit the like button, if you haven't even left a comment, go ahead and leave a comment on what you think your part is and how can you perfect this each and every day. Go ahead and leave it because we're going deep with it. We diving deep with understanding what your part is. And oftentimes, I had to learn that I couldn't do everything. I couldn't be everywhere. I couldn't say and understand everything that's going on around me, right? For instance, I remember when I had moved into my place in California. Me and my ex-wife moved into our place in California. It was a bed. The box spring couldn't get up the stairs unless we angled it, and then went up the stairs. As we are pushing it, it pushed a hole in the wall. And with the hole was in the wall, I'm like, dang, I need to fix that. I'm like, all right, all right, cool. First I would put a picture over it so it wasn't what was it? You can tell that it was there. And so when we put the picture there, it was like, oh, okay, we'll fix later on. And so I'm thinking it's gonna be easy to fix. No, it was not. I'm trying to read the instructions. I'm trying to watch YouTube videos. I'm trying to see what makes sense. What do I need to do in order for it to be working and look good and look professionally? I made the hole worse. Not only was it like a pushed-in hole, hole in the wall, now it was a square. Because I had cut it out. I'm like, all right, cool. You need to cut it off. You need to make it even around the sides. You need to make it even, but as you're making it even, how can you make it blend together, right? Mind you, I've never done it before. This was my first time doing something of this nature, so I had to, learn from an expertise during that time and moment. And what I've learned is that I was not that good at it. My part was not fixing the hole in the wall. But I also learned that other people are an expert in this field. But I didn't ask for help because I didn't know how to ask or who to ask for help. But my part would have been me reaching out to a professional in order for them to help me along the process. The hole in the wall became even more it was messed up. It was messed up because it did not look like a wall. It did not. It looked like it was a hole right there because I made it worse. I made it 10 times worse. But I've learned is that it is okay to reach out and ask for help when you don't understand how to do things. My part would have been me reaching out to a professional, let the professional do and fix this job. Oftentimes I tried to be cheap. I tried to be frugal with my money, and if I can fix it, let me go ahead and try to fix it. But mind you, this is something that I haven't been practicing. So how do you get good at something if you haven't put the time and effort to learn it? I had to learn it. I had to learn that it takes time to build this craft up. It takes effort. It takes a commitment to understand where this effort is coming from. So I'm like, okay, cool. How committed am I to fixing this hole? I wasn't committed. I wasn't that committed. I was not that committed. I was not committed because I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy doing something like that, and I just stopped. And I just stopped. Oftentimes, we have to know ourselves in order to learn what makes us happy and what makes us sad. But what's happening is that we force our pain on the next person and forces the next person to help us figure our own selves out. But when we do our part, when we do the work behind the scenes, how committed are we to our journey? How committed are we as a person to our process? How committed are we to figuring this out, to making it work? Since I wasn't committed to fixing this hole in the wall, what am I committed to? I'm committed to fixing myself. I'm committed to perfecting my craft. What is my craft? My craft is speaking. My craft is interacting with people. My craft is understanding what a message is and how can I relate to people. If I'm not practicing my craft every day, my craft is a wasted talent. It's a wasted talent because I'm not putting effort to fix it. I'm not putting effort to see, okay, what did I say right here in order to tweak it to make it sound a little bit better? I'm like, oh, okay. I'm not slowing down my thoughts. I'm trying to let my thoughts come out all at once. And when it's coming out all at once, it's not making any sense. But when you do your part behind the scenes, you understand what you can be committed to and why you are committed. I'm committed because I want to help people build confidence within themselves. I'm committed because I know there's life-changing events when you start thinking differently. But you don't think different if you don't understand what different is. Okay. See, there's a process. There's a process behind everything that a lot of people don't talk about. How do you become different if different was never taught to you? I had to learn how to be different. I had to learn how to be myself because I had to do my part. I had to do my part. I remember I was playing football back in high school, and I was playing football. I can't play all other positions minus one. I can only play one. And the biggest thing that my coach used to always say is focus on the next play and always focus on what you can do. I can't be a cornerback. I can't be a defensive lineman. I can't be a cornerback. I can't be a tackle. I can't be a defensive end. I can't be a safety. Right? I can't be a strong linebacker. I can't be another position, a nickelback. I had to be a linebacker because my linebacker was a position I was playing. Now, all those positions I just named, those are positions in football, okay? What I've learned is that you can't be a master of all if you haven't mastered yourself. I can't play different positions because different positions take different techniques and take different times, take different understanding. When you understand yourself and do your part, you see what you can invest in. And by investing, I'm saying, what do you need to put your time in order to become the best? What is the best? The best is you becoming perfect or trying to become perfect each and every day. There will always be mess ups. Okay, I shouldn't say perfect. It's you giving effort. That's what I'm gonna say. It's you giving effort for your life to change for the better because you're doing your part. You're putting yourself first and you're seeing what do you want to do in order to learn what my part is. Oftentimes your part is understanding yourself. Once you understand yourself, now you can help other people. Because when you help other people, they're dealing with what you currently overcame. So here's the thing. When we don't understand what our part is and how to walk in it and how to control it, that's when life and the situation and everything that we're dealing with, that's when it gets overwhelming. Because we trying to do the next person's job. We trying to do the next person's part. But in reality, we don't understand the skills, the time, the effort, determination, the commitment that it takes in order to perfect their job or to give effort in their job. We can't do everything, but we can be a master of ourselves. We can be in control of who we are as a person. We can't be in control of how we are coming off in life. But the way you come off in life is when you understand who you are as a person. Right, so I told you we diving a little bit deep. We diving deeper today. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, if you haven't hit that like button, make sure you leave a comment to let me know how impactful your part is in your everyday life. There's a process. What is the process? The process is you starting, and after you start, what do you need to do and who do you need to be around? See, your part is encouraged by the people that's around you. I'm gonna say that again because oftentimes we got the wrong people around us. I'm gonna say that again. Your part is encouraged by the people that's around you. Oftentimes we have the wrong people around us that's helping us grow. How do I know this? Because the people that you have in your life, if you're not growing together, you're stagnant. You're in one place. Let me ask you this. Think of this. Just think of it right quick. Are you the same person from last year? If the answer is no, if you change in some way, if you change just an ounce or just change something about you that wasn't the same last year, you changed, you grew, you learned, you understood something that wasn't there that needed to be presented. You understood that. And see, here's what's happening. When we don't know what our part is, that's when life gets confusing. I can't stretch myself too thin when I'm in my purpose. I'm gonna say that one again. That was actually pretty good. You feel me? I can't stretch myself too thin when I'm in my purpose. My purpose is getting done every day. I'm understanding how can I be a better communicator by doing the communicating. Okay. But you have to be willing to not be that great in order to learn how you can become the best. The best is the mindset. Being the best is the mindset because it starts with you. It starts with yourself. It starts with the process. What is the process? The process is helping you learn how to be better at what you're good at. How to be better at what you're good at. See, what's happening is that we don't think we deserve how to be different. We don't think we deserve how to be better when better is not in front of us. That's the thing about the process. That's the thing about doing your part. Can nobody be you when you are the best you? Can nobody be me? Because I know and love and understand who I am as a person. See, what's happening is that when you get around people that encourage your growth is inevitable because you are constantly changing. You are constantly evolving. You are constantly learning more about yourself. So your part is understanding that it's okay to understand who you are as a person. Here's why I'm saying this, because oftentimes as you're stretching yourself too thin, all the other tasks are not getting completed to your full capability. To your full capability, not just a little amount of effort, no, to your full capability. It's not getting done that way. It's not, because we have to learn that whatever you put your mind and effort and energy towards, that's what's going to pay you back. And we should always put ourselves first in order to learn what we can bring out to the other world, bring out to the world. This past weekend, April 1st, I believe, it was a tornado here in Little Rock, Arkansas. And when the tornado hit, it hit my apartment complexes, but it didn't hit my section. But it did hit the ones in the back. And so it didn't hit me until my mama came and she was like, "Son, you okay? Son, you okay? Son, you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I just woke up. What happened?" She was like, "Son, a tornado just came. A tornado just came." I'm like, "For real?" I didn't think nothing of it. So we got to walking. We got to walk in our apartment complex. We got to walking and we went towards the back. When I tell you this is something I never saw before, I'm saying apartments was torn, like actually in person. I didn't saw videos of it, but witnessing it is completely different than seeing it on video. It's so different. It's so mind blowing. So as we walk in the back, the roof, the buildings, the trees, the environment, the signs, the banner signs, the metal signs, like everything that was in the apartment complex was so mind-blowing because I've never seen something like this. I've never experienced it. And for me to be asleep, I was like, what the mess? You know what I mean? Like, how can you be prepared for something if you haven't been practicing to prepare yourself? So the people that was affected by the tornado, you can't necessarily predict that. You know what I mean? You can't predict that something like this is going to happen to you at a specific time, at a specific day. We just cannot predict that. But what I learned during this time, during this weekend, is that Your part has to be the best because it has to be pursued each and every day. So as we walking back to the apartment complex, I see people handing out water. As little as they may seem, they did their part to make people days. There's people talking with people throughout traffic and people directing traffic. People just playing their role, just doing their part. And it really showed me how important life is when we understand how limited it is, how short it is. Not limited, how short it is. Because it can be ended in a glimpse. It can be taken away quicker than we expect. And if we're not understanding what our part is, that's when we build a lot of regrets. That's when we're not in our purpose. That's when it really gets to a point to where, how do you work on you when you don't know yourself? There was some people that were taken away, and my prayers go out to them. My prayers and my blessings go out, and my prayers go out to their family to strengthen them along this time, because that is hard. That is hard for the ones that lost their places, for the ones that had a place to live that no longer have a place to stay. You got to also think about it like, how long are people going through this phase of surviving, of living a day-to-day life? A tragic event like this it's going to affect a lot of people. It's going to affect a lot of people. And when we do our part, that's when we come together and kind of push the narrative that it is okay. Because I'm doing the best that I can do. I'm doing the best here today. I'm doing the best. It might not be 100 water bottles. It might not be 200 water bottles, but I'm giving effort. I'm giving effort. As long as you give effort in yourself, what comes from this will be so much special, because now other people see what you're trying to do with them. How you trying to help. How you trying to inspire them. But when you understand why things are presented in the way and manner that they was taught, this when we understand who we are as a person. This when our part is more in effect, because if it takes a small amount of effort to even try, to even keep going, to even keep putting yourself out there. I was gonna stop making content because I'm thinking, man, this is tragic. I can't do it. I can't do it. But then I'm like, I want to be doing my part. Me making content is my part. It is my part. And I can connect with so many more people that haven't experienced a tragic event before it even happens, to learn how to focus on yourself. To learn how to do your part. To be graceful within the journey. To start, to be patient. My part is speaking life into others, is building confidence into others. Yes, this is my part, and I will be volunteering a lot. I will be putting myself out there a lot more, because I know a lot of people need to hear a message like this before it's too late. Before it's too late. So my part is helping others build confidence within themselves, and for them to start, and for them to believe, and for them to not regret their decisions, and for them to learn from the mistakes that they made in order for it to become a lesson. That's my part. And I'm going to do it every day. I'm going to perfect it every day. It's going to grow every single day, because the message needs to be heard by the ones that have no clue who I am. There's a quote that I heard about this guy named Nehemiah Davis. He said, don't let what you don't know. I think his mentor told him this. Don't let what you don't know. No, it was either Neo Davis or Wall Street Trapper. One of them two. Don't let what you don't know stop you from doing it. Don't let what you don't know stop you from doing it. Remember I told you about me fixing the hole in the wall? I didn't know what I was doing, but I still did it. I still done it. You know what I mean? I didn't know how to do it, so I went seeking for the information on YouTube. It could have been a lot better if I do it over time. But granted, since that was my first time experiencing something of that nature, it wasn't that great. It wasn't even that great. It was probably like a 3 on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being best, 1 being the worst. Probably like a 3. But it did a job. I didn't know how to fix the hole in the wall, but me attempting to fix it kind of sealed it. Well, not kind of, it did seal it. Because I searched the information. Once I searched the information, I did it, I done it, I tried it. I'm like, oh, here go my part. Make a lot of sense. Make a lot of sense. Now in today, if I don't know how to do something, I ask a lot of questions. Don't be afraid to ask the wrong question, because the right question will be presented and help you understand more in your everyday life. But see, questions are not bad things. Questions are not bad things. We get so afraid to ask the question, we don't ask because we don't want to get judged. But what if you ask the wrong question, you get corrected on how to present it? Then what? Do you still feel bad because you asked the wrong question? Or do you feel like you want to ask more questions in order to get a better understanding of how things operate, how things work, how people are? The quality of your question is determined by the development of the answer. If your question is like it's not as detailed, how is this question going to help you down the line? We have to be understanding that our part comes from ourselves. But once we understand ourselves, that's when we can perfect it each and every day. That's when we can try and be perfect and try to be perfect. If you're not perfect, nobody's perfect. If you give effort, that's what it is. If you give effort, you become better. If you try, you see your growth. If you are determined, you will not quit. If you are committed, you will always learn. But you have to be willing to learn in order to continue to grow and identify what your part is. Your part is in you because it is your role. Your role is your purpose, and your purpose is what's going to help a lot of people. So hopefully now you understand how important identifying what your part is and giving effort towards it each and every day.